Welcome to March Madness Minute number 16. Today we're going to look at Flipboard. It's a website, an app that works with your Google account, and it curates the news for you, saves it, and allows you to share it. So once you log in with your Google account, I believe it's going to force you into the Explore area. And just like a music app first asks the genres that you're interested in, this is going to ask the topics that you're interested in. And so you can go through the ones that they've already curated for you. So if I'm interested in technology, I can see what topics are here. There's more topics to choose from. But if I'm interested in coding, I can click on it. It's going to show me some articles, and all of their articles are going to show you usually an image, a title, and a little blurb, and then you can click on it to read the whole thing. So if I'm interested in coding, I can click the follow button, and then this will be part of my stream of news. If I'm interested in an article, and this is the real part of Flipboard, is then, let's see if there's something that looks good. There was one here about Twitter turns 10 years old already. So if I'm interested in this article and I want to save it, I click the plus button, the flip button, and I'm going to add it to a magazine. So this said it was part of coding. I'll just put it in coding as well. And so there we go. And I click add. So now that article is going to be part of my magazine. And we'll look at those here in just a minute. And there are some better options on the mobile version than the website version. It'll allow you to say, I'm interested in more articles or less articles like this one. So I can look at individual articles in Explore, but I can also follow magazines that have been created or ideas. So I can also search here for like Google Apps for Education, GAF. And then these are created by individuals here. And if I click on Google Apps for Beginners, I'm already following this one, so I can follow this magazine, but I could also click on the individual and see if they have other magazines that I'm interested in and follow those other magazines or that person as a whole. So in that aspect, it's a lot like Pinterest for the news. Now the other part you're going to want to look at is following. So here's where I can curate my news. So if there's topics that I'm not really interested in anymore, if I'm on the mobile version, I'll be able to delete some of the topics, add other topics. I can just kind of keep making my sources things that I'm interested in. So I might want to take some off, add some new ones. Now accounts, it also works with Twitter, Instagram, Google+, Facebook. So the top articles in these also come through my Flipboard. So it's really kind of a one-stop shop. And these are magazines that I'm currently following by individuals and then people that I'm also following. And again, to edit these, you really need to be on a mobile device. Now, cover stories is where all of this news is coming through. So in the following section, I could look at the individuals and what they're currently posting, but I usually start my mornings by going to cover stories on a mobile device and just kind of reading through the highlights of news for that day. So if I'm interested in something here again, I can click on it to get more information. I can add it to a magazine, and it's a real easy way to email out information as well. Things look nice on here. I would say on a mobile device that the pages flip a little bit more like a real magazine. It has a real fluid look, and let's see if there's something interesting in the news that we want to add to a magazine. So here's something about ELL. So again, I can click on it to get more information. And on the mobile version, I would have the option to add to a magazine right here. On the web version, I have to go back to the cover version, and now I can add this to my ELL magazine. So if we go to the top of the page here, if we go to my account, that's where all of my magazines are. And I can create a new magazine at any time. And let's see, so let's look at Google Apps for Education. So this is one that I've been adding some stories to for a while. And I can add other people if I want to have multiple contributors to a magazine. But here's my articles. And the nice thing is now I can give this link to somebody and they can see all of these articles. So I'll include it in our email today. But this would be a nice way for a teacher to gather articles for students, but also for students to follow some topics and curate and create their own magazine that they can share back to the class. So I can go up here to share, and I can share, I can embed the whole magazine on my blog if I'm interested in doing that. I could share with an email. Actually, it's just going to give me the link, but I could post this link on my Google Classroom page, my About page, if I had an ongoing magazine about current events related to my content area. But again, students can also create these, or you can add your students as collaborators, and together you can make a magazine. So here's a little glimpse of what Flipboard looks like on a mobile device. And so I'm going to flip the page here. And you can see these are the topics that I'm following. But I tend to just dive into the cover stories right here. And on the iPhone, it's going to go up and down. On the iPad, it goes side to side and flips just like a book. And if there's an article that I'm interested in, I can just touch that article, open it up. I can read the entire article. I can, here's where you have some little filter options, and here's where you can fine tune. So if I want more articles like this, I just hit the thumbs up, and that way you can fine tune that news feed that's coming into you. And again, I can hit the plus sign if I wanted to add it to a magazine. But we're going to go look at the account section for a moment. And I'm going to click on this red ribbon up here. And here's where I can look at my profile, but in following, you can follow people and topics like we mentioned, but accounts, here's where you can add and delete accounts. So again, I was able to add my Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram and Google Plus accounts, so that becomes part of my feed. So that's an overview of Flipboard. I think it's a great way for students or for staff to share out magazines. And the nice thing is once you share a magazine, anytime someone clicks on it, they get the most up-to-date version, so you can continue to add resources to that magazine. I think it'd be a fun way for students to research a project and keep everything in one place and then create this really nice looking visual at the end. Those can also, again, be collaborative, so you have multiple people adding to it. I think it's also a fun way to see current events related to a content area, especially in sciences.